Here's how you handle waiting. Just expect it. Everybody's saying, oh, 2020 is going to be over. 2021 is going to be just... Expect to wait some more. And what happens is if you're expecting waiting, it's not as difficult as if you're not. It's like, if you've been to In-N-Out lately, if you go to In-N-Out drive-through, have you seen the lines? They're on Laguna Boulevard. But so you go to In-N-Out, you expect to wait, right? You bring a friend, you get your podcasts all full and up, and you download a couple books on Audible. It's an experience. You're going to be waiting. And it's okay because it's part of the whole deal. You expect it. You go to McDonald's and you wait more than 12 seconds. You're like, what's going on around here, right? Expect to wait. There's just a lot of wait. If you looked at your life, all the waiting that you're doing, you're waiting for graduate, waiting to get your license, waiting for Mr. Right or Little Miss Perfect. You're waiting to have kids. You're waiting for the baby to be born. You're waiting for the baby to sleep through the night. You're waiting for the baby to go off to school. You're waiting for the baby to move out and go to college. You're waiting for retirement. You're waiting for this sermon to end, and it just started. Have you seen the Bible? Look at all the waiting there. Genesis 3, we talked about it a couple weeks ago. Adam and Eve sinned. God says, I'm going to handle this. The waiting begins. Why didn't you just say, hey, Jesus, Adam and Eve said, can you come and die right now so we can get this? No, there's all this waiting. Noah built a boat. He waited decades for rain. Then he's 40 days and 40 nights on this boat. Why didn't he kill those two possums when he had the chance? They're disgusting. Anyway, and then he waited it was like a year after the rain for the water to subside, and you think your quarantine is bad. Can you imagine? And then you look at Abraham. Here's Abraham. God appears to Abraham at 75 years old and says, I'm going to give you a son. He waited a long time. It was another 25 years before Isaac was born. But look at this. In Genesis 15, God is promising to Abraham. He says, took him outside. He says, look up in the sky and count the stars. And it was probably one of those super clear nights, not foggy like this. It says, look how many descendants you're going to have. But check this out. And then the Lord said, you can have all these descendants, and you can be sure that your descendants will be strangers in a foreign land, or they will be oppressed as slaves for 400 years. What's the deal with the 400 years? There's waiting. You look at Moses. He waited 40 years to reveal that he was Jewish. 40 years in the desert. Waited through 10 plagues. Could you imagine 9 more of these, right? And then they waited 40 years in the wilderness, just wandering around. David, anointed as king, had to wait 17 years for that to happen. Jeremiah says, you're going to be taken captive, but don't worry. You'll be able to come back in 70 years. Jesus, he comes to earth. He waits 30 years to start his ministry. And then what does he do? 40 days, 40 nights, waiting, fasting. And he dies, and they have to wait 3 days for him to rise again. That might have been the longest period of waiting. And then when Jesus ascends into heaven in Acts chapter 1, he turns to his followers right before he leaves and says, hey, this is what I want you to do. I want you to wait. Waiting, here's the secret. Expect to wait. But here's the secret. Waiting's good for us. There's something about waiting that's really beneficial to us. We know this because we teach it to our kids. Wait, you don't get dessert until after you've worked through dinner, right? Wait to go out and play until you do your homework. Wait till Christmas in order to open your... We teach the kids to wait because we know there's some characteristics you only learn with waiting, like perseverance and persistence and perspective, right? There's something good about waiting. God has us wait, and part of expecting it is just know it's kind of good for us. Because you know what you call people who can't wait? Immature.